and create new stories with all this new content. So Sims 4 is really, as I said, the cow that you milk because it works, and it's really the low-hanging fruit. It's not bad. I'm not saying this for the dev, right? But it's really literally the minimum effort for maximum profit. Because, well, I'm sure they have to create new assets and things like this, but 99% of the game is not going to change, right? They're just adding on top. Sims 5 would be a brand new project costing a lot of time and money. And as Adam said, if it doesn't work, cut your losses. The Sims 4 is working very well, and do it when right now they have monopoly. There's no other game, or at least not that I know, which can compete against Sims 4. Once other games are gonna come and be popular and start stealing, shares, maybe there you're gonna start thinking, Maxi is gonna say, maybe it's time for us to, crunch a little bit and get out of Sims 5. Otherwise, why would they change the formula, right? That's my vision of the stuff.
Very good points, and both of you made some really good points. I'm looking forward to 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥. I'm hoping 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥 comes out soon because I'd love a new Sims-like game. Since we don't have choices, seem to be coming fewer and fewer. On that note, let's talk about something interesting. Someone in Reddit this week compiled 700 lists of the best games ever and came out with a list of 100 games or so. Well, 100 games on Reddit. He actually has the full list over here. He explains the statistics on the Reddit post. I'll include that link, so make sure to check it out. If you're also not on Reddit and you're a middle-aged gamer, you should definitely check it out. You don't have to write stuff. You can just be a lurker like I was for many, many, many years. So today, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to go through 10 to 1. We don't have time to do anything more than that. And I'll start with Adam, Antoine, and myself. We can each talk about each one, give us a quick 30, 60-second take on the choice, and then we can take it from there. So none of these are very surprising. Number 10, Adam, is the Elder Scrolls Skyrim 2011. What do you think?
That was a great game. I loved playing it. I probably put, I don't even know, maybe 800. No, my 800 sounds excessive. I don't know. Definitely more than 200 hours into it. 800 might actually be accurate across 4 saves. I think I did. But yeah, no, definitely Skyrim was a great game. And unfortunately, I feel like Bethesda's been kind of trying to chase that dragon ever since. Fallout 4 did okay, but I know a lot of people were disappointed with kind of some of the directions that went in. And obviously Starfield hasn't quite held up as well, but Skyrim keeps getting re-released, and it is actually a really great game, and it's got a lot of mod support, so it's the gift that keeps on giving. So yeah.
All right, and number 9, Antoine, BioShock Original 2007.
I loved it. I really, really loved the atmosphere, and at the time, right, it was brand new. It was a very good. Is that an FPS? Yes, it was first person. Yeah, I played it a while ago. But BioShock 2 and the third one in the City in the Sky. The story was fantastic. I really loved it. It really alternates the it's very interesting. Oh, it's super creepy. I'm not sure I really want to go there. The Big Daddy and the little girls were really cool. The atmosphere, it was charming in its own way. And it was a really, really good game, and I'm not surprised it's over there.
All right, Adam, number 8, Resident Evil 4, 2005.
I've actually never played Resident Evil 4, neither the original nor the remake. I played Resident Evils 1 through 3 on the original PlayStation. 3 was on the original PlayStation, right? I think so. And then 4, they went to, was it on Xbox or GameCube? I don't remember. I never played, but yeah, I never played 4. But it was the first one where they did the kind of a behind-the-shoulder camera, so that was a big change. So I could see where it would be one of the more popular ones, because yeah, you went from you switched from tank controls to kind of more standard controls. You switched from the fixed camera to an over-the-shoulder camera. So I can see that being for a lot of people, bringing them in, bringing them into the franchise, and for people that were already in it, being like, "Ooh, this is an entirely new way to play this game. So yeah, I can see it.
All right, number 7, Antoine, Super Mario 64, 1996, when I first started high school.
Great. I have never played. I didn't have a Nintendo 64, so I think, and you may correct me there, but that's the Mario which introduced 3D. And that's one of the only game at the time which had a great transition from 2D to 3D. Because there's been a lot of catastrophe at the time. It was like, oh, look, 3D technology is evolving. No. 3D means, you had the camera going crazy because technology was not there, and they're looking at anywhere but in front of your character. And I recall, because a friend of mine was playing, so I recall a few worlds, but it was a very, very good game, and the whole 3D transition was really well made. And then it was a banger. Unfortunately, never played this one.
All right, moving on. Number 6, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Adam.
I have played this one, and this one's really good. Gameplay was weak. I remember playing through it and thinking every time I got into a fight, like, oh man, I just wish I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn. But the story is definitely one of the best ones out there. And this is one of those games where, like, I feel pretty much most people probably should play it because it is a bit of an experience. I know a lot of people really enjoy the Blood and Wine DLC. I enjoyed it, but I must say that I think Hearts of Stone? That one is one of my personal favorite DLCs of all time. I really enjoyed that one.
Okay, number 5, we're getting up there. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, 1998.
Oh, classic. I spent a lot of hours. Absolutely great. One of the extremely innovative idea with, this time travel, playing with Kid Link, playing with Adult Link. At the end of this one, it created the 3 timelines of Zelda. It's all originate from this one. One going to Majora's Mask, the others going to Adult Link, and anyway, you will go to see the Zelda timeline if you want. But Ocarina of Time, absolutely great dungeons, great enemies. Ganondorf, I think first apparition of Ganondorf, the only male of its generation in Gerudo Valley. Iconic bad guy. Of course, it's a Zelda, so if you have Ganondorf, you defeat him. After you have Ganon. I'm gonna keep saying that they are all great games. Of course, they are all great games, but this one really made my childhood. It's one of the first one where you have a strong woman character, even if you don't know that until quite a while into the game. Shake, which is none other than Zelda. Oh my god, I spoiled you on such an old game, which you can find on Super Smash Bros. Melee and all of this. So really good game, and big world map, lots of good dungeons, the water dungeon that lots of people love. For some reason, lots of people say, oh, what's a dungeon, Ocarina of Time? Oh, my nightmare. Oh, come on. There was way worse.
All right, number 4, Adam, Half-Life 2, 2004.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. I think I actually preferred the original Half-Life over Half-Life 2. Although the grav gun was pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe revolutionary. I don't know. Like that the physics in that game really kind of took it to a new level. Where I mean, other games had physics, they had ragdoll physics, but I mean, the way you could interact with the environment with the grav gun was very different than, I'm sure there were probably other games that had experimented with it before, but this is the one where it really made it big. And if we didn't have Half-Life 2, we wouldn't have Portal. So credit to Half-Life 2 for giving us Portal, because that is a great game as well. So, yeah.
All right, we're getting up there. Top 3 at last. And drum roll in your imagination. Antoine, number 3, Tetris 1985. Oh yeah, I love that music.
Do I need to say more? Yeah, well, Game Boy, good old Game Boy on your bed with Tetris, because everybody had Tetris, and this bloody line of 6 which didn't go into the hole like it should have gone, and then your wall is going up. Well, it's really hard to talk about gameplay on this one, but I was terrible at Tetris, but I really loved it, like absolutely everyone. And I'm sure that's why Mario did the Dr. Mario Tetris kind of stuff, and with a little virus, and it has been copied all the time, and it's what, 1990s? And you still have it right now on Switch and everything, on your version. I mean, that's the classic of the classic, I would say.
Indeed. Number 2, I am a little bit surprised. The Last of Us, 2013.
I'm a little bit surprised too. I've played the first one. I remember when I had a friend and he played it and he really enjoyed it. And then when it came out, it was like one of the free games for PlayStation Plus one time. So I played the original one on the PS3. It was good. I don't personally, I'm going to cause a controversy here. I don't personally think it's up to the hype that it gets, because I mean I played it and I had played it shortly after one of the Uncharted's, and I was like, okay, this is it's an Uncharted game set with a different setting, different characters, but it still felt very much like an Uncharted game. But yeah, I don't know, it didn't feel groundbreaking to me, I'll be honest. It was fun, I enjoyed it, but I do think it's a bit overhyped.
All right, and with that number 1, I'm going to get the honor. Number 1 is, of course, Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2017.
Fantastic, I haven't played it. And for the matter, my favorite Zelda is damn it, the one on the Wii, on the sea with the boat.
Wind Waker?
Wind Waker, thank you, yeah. Plus, Wind Waker for me, which is much better. Yeah, of course, Breath of the Wild, extremely interesting game on the fact that the sound ambience, it's very quiet down, toned down, right? Just to give you the impression that you have a massive world to explore. Some region are full of puzzles and monsters, some much less, because that's how real life is. Some regions are quite desertic. Great successor to Ocarina of Time, I would say, in the fact that you have some great stories with all the 4 races. Gameplay, the Zelda gameplay, it's hard to say that it's reinventing the wheel. It's always great. Much better than, for me, much better than the previous, the Skyward Sword and the other one I ate where you play the wolf with Midna.
Twilight Princess.
Anyway, I think. Thank you, Twilight Princess. I just can't remember the Zelda games tonight. It's terrible. Yeah, so Breath of the Wild for me, it's much better than these ones. And Tears of the Kingdom is also very good. Yeah, I wouldn't have put it top 1, but it's a very good game. There's nothing about that.
This brings back some trauma from having said, okay, everyone talks about Zelda, let's play this. And I played it for 20 hours and I regret spending the money on the game.
Really?
Yeah, no, we talked about this before, so we won't dive into it. Let's move on to another sort of depressing story, because I was really looking forward to Fallout London. I loved Fallout 4 as, I guess, not the only Fallout game I played, but the one that I actually finished, even though I got a really bad ending. Adam, tell us what's happening with Fallout London and why we possibly can't play it, or maybe we could in the future.
No, you can, unless you're on Epic. So what's happened with the Fallout mod, Fallout London, they were working on for a long time. And of course, Bethesda being Bethesda, if it ain't broke, fix it, right? That's what they always do. So they came out with their, what was it called? Next Gen update. And because Fallout London was working on an older version of the game, it's not compatible with the update. So that's an issue. And so, yeah, they just didn't have enough time to fix it or whatever. So the solution was to downgrade your version of Fallout to a previous version. And on GOG, because GOG will basically keep you can download, I guess, any version, or you can roll back to a previous version. So on GOG, it's fine. And also this, it's worth noting that this mod is so huge, it will not fit on Nexus mods. So you have to go through GOG to get it. So on GOG, you download this massive mod, but then you have to downgrade your version of Fallout to prior to the next-gen update, and then that way it'll be compatible with the game because it was made for that version. On Steam, you can do the same things. You can kind of downgrade, or they also have a downgrade tool that you can download, and that'll help you downgrade the game to a previous version. But if you are on Epic, or if you're on console, or even if you are on, well, I guess on console it doesn't really matter, but if you're on Epic, or supposedly if you're on Game Pass, you basically can only get the most recent version of the game. You cannot, go roll back to a previous version of the game. So if you're on one of those, unfortunately, you will not be able to play Fallout London because you have the next gen update and the game is not compatible with that. They are working on a tool to get it they are working on a tool to maybe get the Epic version to to a way to roll it back. So they're working on that. That's their first solution. They are also going to try to make it next gen compatible. But yeah, if you're on Epic, which I'm sure all 7 of you are going to be very disappointed, then unfortunately you will not be able to play Fallout London. So, but Steam and GOG, have at it.
That's that's kind of good news, but at the same time, I think a lot of middle-aged gamers have come to the realization that you are going to be buying games multiple times, So maybe you just buy another version, right? If you do want to play Fallout London, like I'll do that. I don't even know where my Fallout 4 is, whether it's on Steam or on Epic or some other platform. But yeah, are you going to be playing Fallout London, Adam?
No, because I have Fallout 4 on my PS4, so I couldn't if I wanted to. I'd have to re-download the game. I'd have to rebuy the game. But no, I'm not really tempted to go back into Fallout anytime soon. My backlog is just way too big to justify rebuying it just for the one mod. Yeah, but so no, probably not.
No, understandable. Antoine, tell us about 2 Point Studios, and I've forgotten who they are, so tell us about that first, and tell us about games.
You thought? Well, that's fine. 2 Point Studio is a studio which is relatively recent because it was founded in 2016. 2017, they signed a deal with Sega, to publish their game. And in 2018, they released their first game, which is 2 Point Hospital. So if you're a middle-aged gamer, you've got to know Sim Hospital. Remember Sim Hospital? One of the childhood game for us, which was fantastic. And, when you remember your childhood, you're like, oh, yeah, Sim Hospital, where the doctor is trying to save a patient, and then he realizes his credit card is expired, so he put the patient in the bin. I really love that intro. That was the first Sim Hospital back in the 90s. Very sarcastic, very fun. And so 2 Point Studio made 2 Point Hospital, which is definitely a very close relative or descendant of Sim Hospital. And again, it was an excellent game, full of humor, very lighthearted. It was great. They released it in 2018 because it was a banger. Because you don't have that much simulation this kind of games these days, because you have a lot of city builders, right? And but this kind of management of an hospital, I don't recall. You have a lot of zoo, right? With Zoo Tycoon or Roller Coaster Tycoon or things like this, right? You have Theme Park, but the revival of the hospital was pretty cool, and because it worked quite well, their second game came out in 2022, and it was 2 Point Campus, where you had this crazy university to build and manage, which not only was as good as its predecessor, it was really great. It was even easier on the gameplay. I mean, both of these games are really chill. They are very funny. They are very intuitive. That's what makes them addictive. And it also can be challenging because, you have this system where you have some missions and you need to get 3 stars on every map with the DLC and everything. It can be challenging, but all along, it never gets annoying. It's always a fun journey. And so, why talking about 2 Point? Because they are great. I love you. Hello. And also because they released, was it on LinkedIn? They are hiring people. So they are hiring people. And was it, sorry, I lost, I had the page on LinkedIn, but they are hinting on the fact that they want to expand their 2 Point county universe. So you don't know what you're going to manage in the next game, but we know they are working more than one game at a time. And the thing is, you have no idea what it's going to be. So you know that they're doing, they want to do this multiverse of, I don't know where it's going to go. But so question is, you guys, for instance, if you could manage, you already had a campus, we already had an hospital, what do you think would be very fun to have as a building management and would be fun to build and to manage? You need to have a lot of different career, right? The campus is very wide, the hospital is a very wide, a lot of professions. Could you do that, we know, with a police precinct, for instance, or a firefighter, caserne. Sorry, for
2 Point Castle. That is what I want. 2
Point Castle. Oh, that'd be nice. A castle, okay. And what about you, Adam?
I was thinking like a mall in the 1980s or 90s.
Oh,
I like that.
That would be fantastic. So that's actually much better than mine. So in the comments, please tell us what do you want 2 Points to work on, and do you like them? I love them. It's really great for them to revive these really old-fashioned games, because it's really old-fashioned, but it worked very well for us middle-aged gamer. But I think they were able to really capture a brand new public, especially with the campus one, because, you know, for students, it's extremely fun to create your own campus and see all the stupid stuff you can do with it, because there's some really silly things you can do with. So what do you want 2 Point to work with? What would really excite you? Just in terms of delay, right? Hospital in 2018, campus in 2022. Let's imagine they need 4 to 5 years to release a new game. That means 2024, we are halfway developing a new game. Only 2 years to wait. We might see some first image of gameplay or trailer or something, you know, just to raise the hype. Maybe it's a bit early, but, you know, 2 years before a game, not that early, so we may see some images. So tell us, are you excited about this? What would you like to see? What do you want to play? Are you excited as me? If yes, fantastic. Then, you know, click like, subscribe. Make sure to click on this clock, but not the half clock, you know, the full, the bell, sorry, not clock. Not the half bell, you know, this YouTube stuff, you know, they change how the bell works. It's annoying. Make sure to have the full bell so they can see all of our videos, even if sometimes they are controversial, and you can tell us that it's fine. We're happy to answer you. And all over there, or there, I never know. Here, new videos there. Woohoo! Yes.
I forgot to mention now. I can actually, YouTube has a function where I can, you guys can send me your individual videos over their screen, however you want to do it, and I can add them to every video on the end. It's just I can upload a video file onto YouTube, onto each of your videos. So at some point, please record one end screen, and then I will put them in a folder, and then every time I upload you guys' videos, I can just upload Adam's end screen to the videos.
Yeah. And I really wanted to talk about the bell, because I noticed today that most of the channel I'm subscribed on are subscribed as personalized, which means I don't see them anymore. And I have to go back in there and subscribe to the you know, like the white with the little thingy on the side. And then it's gonna ring for you each time there's a new video.
I mean, that's one of the biggest controversies of YouTube, you know, when they launched that system, unfortunately.
Mm.
Okay, so a lot of you were searching for what is the best game to play on Steam at the moment, and I'm going to make an argument that it is not First Descendant, because First Descendant is still mixed reviews at the moment. It is not Finally Human or Last Human or whatever that human game is. I watched a few reviews about it, and I heard a lot of people talk about it. It's very much in the similar vein as First Descendant, sort of excessively monetized, lots of bugs, systems that still need to be worked on. But if you are looking for something to play that's interesting or exciting, those might be it. But I think there's a game that you might have forgotten about. It is Last Epoch, and they just literally released their version 1.1 on the day that Antoine and I recorded the podcast last week, Tuesday, on July 9th, which is why we're talking about it today. Otherwise, I would have mentioned it. So Last Epoch is the better version of Diablo 4. I mean, to be honest, right? Like larger player numbers, more classes, not crazily monetized. There's no battle passes and battle passes and top of battle passes. Not to mention, there is no Last Epoch Immortal, right? Which is the worst crime against humanity. So let's talk about what is Harbingers of Ruin. I will caveat this by saying I have not played this game. I have watched it. It is on my wish list. It is something I'm gonna play at some point. Unfortunately, I have committed myself to play a Capcom game this week Friday when it comes out. Some Japanese game that I cannot pronounce the name, but apparently that's going to be a thing since I can no longer play Frostpunk 2 because that's going to be delayed for a while. So, Harbingers of Ruin. One of the very first things that they mentioned, like what is the big new thing? It says evasion is now a thing that you can do in Harbingers of Ruin, right? Which is something that Dark Souls people love, and people love like dodging and rolling and fighting and that sort of stuff. And a bunch of different sort of action RPGs have implemented this mechanic, so it's not new, but this is new for Harbingers of Ruin. So again, like if you're one of those people who really likes to sort of move around and fight, and I'm not one of those people, I just like to sit in one corner and just shoot spells or arrows or sort of stuff. I'm not one of those 125 APM people. This is one of the big things they talk about. They also talk about rapid evade, which is a skill that people have. They talk about new gear systems. And my voice is slowly dying, so I'm going to drink some water because this is still live. So I apologize to anyone who's watching this live, because I can feel stuff stuck on the back of my throat. All right, as I was saying, so they have a new encounter system, which is very much, they named it very similar to the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor system called the Nemesis system. Nemesis is a new random encounter which you'll encounter during Harbingers of Ruin. While 1.1's primary focus was around a pinnacle boss system, many players may take some time to reach that point in the game. We wanted to make sure that these players didn't feel left out of 1.1 and introduced a new system for everyone to engage with. While traveling throughout Ithera during both the campaign and Monolith of Fate, you may randomly come across this new encounter type, the Nemesis. Upon spotting one of these powerful warriors slain by a Harbinger with its armor circling around its body, you'll be provided with an opportunity to add more loot to your horde. Interacting with the remains will present you with a window showing several items available from the Nemesis, as well as 3 options of what you would like to do in regards to the items. Banish, Challenge, and Power. You can imagine what those things involve, right? Banish Nemesis will cause the encounter to be put to rest, banishing both the current Nemesis and the items it offers. So that sort of like resets it. Maybe the items you wanted are not there. The next option is Challenge. The second option will challenge the Nemesis. By selecting Challenge, the Nemesis will rise from its grave and return to fight, right? I guess you fight, you win, you get the loot. That's pretty cool. And then Empower. The final option you'll be provided is the ability to empower the Nemesis. By selecting Empower, the Nemesis will be awakened and attack you in its rage. Then upon defeated, it will flee instead of dropping its items. You'll encounter the same Nemesis again next time, which will have the same items available, but given them potentially increased affixed tiers. So what that basically means, right, for people who are not into RPGs, is better loot the next time you fight it, right? Which I thought is really cool. But there is a good 5,000 words of the things they have done in this page. I could go through them all, but we'd never finish this podcast. So Harbingers of Ruin looks really exciting. I really wish I had time to play it. I really wish it was one of those games where I could play it and make some content about it, and then that would be it. But YouTube people love new games and new things, and I love new things as well. So I understand why So if you are going to play this, let us know. Comment down below. If you did play last Epoch and you dropped off, I'd like to know why. But this to me looked like a really good choice, a really affordable choice as well. This is now you're not paying a premium price of First Descendant or in terms of monetization and stuff, right? This is a $20 game that gives you lots and lots of time. And again, if you're really into action RPGs, right, you're not like me, like I play one class and then I'm done and then I'll never play the game again. But if you're going to play all the classes and do all the things and then do all the end game stuff, this is a game well worth your time. And I encourage you to check it out. All right, and then we're moving on to the final story for today, which is a story I saw that I was like, oh, this is kind of sad. I still have not played the first game. But Adam, tell us what is happening to Horizon Forbidden Zero, the TV show.
Horizon Zero Dawn TV show. Horizon Forbidden West. No, yeah. So, I mean, I guess it would just be the Horizon TV show because the whole naming convention is now just whack. They should have just called it Horizon Zero Dawn 2 to make it less confusing. No, but apparently, okay, so originally they were planning on creating a Horizon Zero Dawn show. You know, we knew about this before we knew about Horizon Forbidden West. So, or we heard around the same time that Horizon Forbidden West was coming out. And we weren't really sure what it was going to be about. A lot of people thought, okay, it'll probably be about, you know, be set in the past. It's going to be about the Pharaoh Plague and that sort of thing. Turns out the showrunner actually was hoping to make it about Aloy. So they were going to follow the story of the original game. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I've expressed before that I don't like it when people seem to rehash old stories. I'd rather just expand the lore. But anyway, so he wanted to do that, but he has been involved in, I think there were 12 people that came out and spoke against him for, they said, bullying. They said he stole ideas from other people, just general toxic behavior. And so because of it, Netflix was like, okay, you know, this guy's a bit of a problem. So, yeah, we're not going to keep you around. So this was canceled. I think he had some other projects that were canceled. There is the possibility, I mean, technically the show hasn't been officially canceled yet. So there is the possibility that, you know, they could pick a new showrunner and throw them on the project and get them to work on that. But as of now, there's nobody who is set to do that. So it looks like the show is just going to be up and canceled, which, if I'm being honest, might actually be the better idea. Because if they are following, I know a lot of people were thinking they should probably go with kind of a prequel with the Pharaoh Plague and all that, because that's set in, you know, semi-modern times. So you would have some special effects, but you would have some special effects, but kind of like, you know, Game of Thrones or something like that, where you might have a dragon every few episodes, but most of it's going to be focused on the people. You could kind of do the same thing, right? You could have it mostly focused on soldiers at the time and then throw in, you know, on the big machines for some of the special stuff. If you're doing a Horizon Zero Dawn set in the time of the game, you're going to need a lot of special effects because, I mean, they just have machines running everywhere. And, you know, there is nothing in that world that kind of exists in our world, you know. You would have to build sets for everything. You know, you can't just film it on location like you could for a show set in more modern times. So I think that actually the show probably would have been extremely expensive to make. So that might have also been a factor in why they are not doing it. But yeah, I mean, it could have been cool. It would have looked amazing if they had done a good job of it. But yeah, so it looks like no Horizon Zero Dawn Netflix show on the horizon. So unfortunately, we're going to have to play the game if we want to get the story. I'm so sorry. Oh, how horrible that you're going to have to play the game.
Was his name showrunner who did, what's that show? The one with the superheroes?
Yes, it is the same guy, the one with the Umbrella Academy.
Yes. Oh God, I saw the news about him because there were supposed to be Umbrella Academy spin-off shows, and that's a fantastic show for anyone who's watching this video on Twitch later. You should definitely check out Umbrella Academy. But unfortunately, yeah, the guy, I read a bunch of stories. Yeah, he it's supposed to be very similar to Zack Snyder, who was apparently also a little bit of a bully on TV shows back in the day. So that's unfortunate. I mean, I thought, like, I played whatever the first game is, Zero Dawn. It's Zero Dawn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I played Zero Dawn for an hour, and the one thing it was a beautiful game. It looked right. It ran well on my PC. And I was like, this story looks good. I liked it. Yeah. So I can definitely see, I think it'll be, the TV verse will be worse off for not having a Horizon show.
It would be expensive though. Not like The Last of Us.
Yeah,
Last of Us,
fair.
you can kind of phone it in with, you don't need too many super special effects, but this one would definitely need them.
Yeah, the fireplay would have made so much more sense. Yeah, because when you make a movie or a TV show or something, you try to put a little of the world we live in, issue and stuff like this. And we are right into the dawn of AI right now. So it would have fit perfectly into that theme. And it's, to me as well, a better story than Terminator. So, the rise of the machine, unstoppable, and all the political bickering which leads to the end of the world. That would have been fantastic. Much better than, the Aloy story, which is great, but that would have been Aloy story back, a flashback on what Pharaoh did, what Sobek did, blah, blah, blah. Well, so even if it comes out, I don't think I would watch it, because the game is great. Why would I watch same on The Last of Us. The game was great, why would I watch the show? Exactly.
All right, on switching gears, let's talk about a headset. And I was supposed to have mine on, but I woke up a little bit late today, which is why I didn't have time to connect to this PC. It is connected to my MacBook, but hopefully I'll talk about it at some point. Antoine, tell us about the 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥𝙦 wireless headsets. And 𝙎𝙪𝙥 makes some good stuff, so I'm excited to hear about it.
Exactly. Well, 𝙎𝙪𝙥, to be honest, I didn't knew them very much, but it seems they've been in the business for quite some time, and they are. So you will tell me because I never tried them. So everything I'm saying is based on reviews that I saw. 𝙎𝙪𝙥 is really good for audio quality, and they have some very advanced audio, and that's what makes them great because it's also pretty cheap compared to competition. The rest maybe is not so good. So in the story that I want to talk about, they are introducing the Nightfall wireless gaming headset, knowing that the Nightfall wired already exists for 9 or 10 months. And this wireless headset is at $70 US. I dropped a link that you very likely will have on the video to see the exact spec. But it's supposed to be packed with top quality audio and comfort feature. Whenever we talk about comfort features, two things. It's the cloud foam cushion. As I said before, I'd rather have foam cushion than leather, because the leather peel, and especially in Taiwan or here in Canada right now, it's super hot and it's just not comfortable. As wireless goes, it's supposed to go for a 70-hour playtime. I always find that, on the specs, it's always a bit 70 is the top of the top, so I would bet on a 65, but I may be wrong. And they have a super sound quality, which makes it at $70 US, it's very competitive, right, on the market, especially if you want to wait for a November and black market. It's going to be a very good choice. I'm talking about this because, I'm always looking at budget mic and budget headphone for my son, because I need to get him some new gear. So that's why I keep an eye on it. Also, in the comfort area, this headset is only 279 grams. For comparison, this HyperX Cloud Alpha S is 322 grams. And I never had any neck pain or anything. So 280 grams, you're sure that it's going to be fine for your neck. And when you're young, I'm sure it's fine. When you're a middle-aged gamer, you really want to, you don't want to get out of your gaming session after playing hours and be like, oh, no, that's just not good. So I got some reviews from PC World that are on the 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥𝙦 Nightfall wired, but let's imagine that it's gonna be more or less the same pros and cons. In the pros, it says the audio sound is crisp and clear, which is Remember, it's a budget one. Great movement in the ear cups, and it's very lightweight, as I was saying. In the cons, I don't really care, but the mic, at least in the review model of the reviewer, was faulty, and the mic was not good. The quality of the mic was not very good. It's also not detachable, and the ear cups can be vertically adjusted, like this. So maybe that could be annoying. In terms of the mic, as you can see, I don't care. I'd rather have a mic on a stand like this, because you can have budget mic as well. As a reminder, this is $80 Canadian. So you can have some very nice budget mics. So the mic as a con, I don't really care. What I really want is some very nice audio. And for this price, apparently 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥𝙦 is really doing a good job. And, at this price, you have to do some compromise. You can't have great audio, great comfort, great everything. Of course, otherwise it would be $200 or $300, right? It's $70. So you have to have a compromise. Here you have a great audio. It's lightweight. You can't adjust. That could be an issue, though. And the real issue being the microphone, or to each their own, as they say. That wouldn't be my issue. But I think, Adam, do you speak with your mic?
Yeah, I still use the one on my headset. Yeah.
On your headphone. Yeah. Okay. So I don't think Krian does. I think you have a microphone, right? You do. So. Oh, very nice one. So that's a 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥𝙦. If you can give me some feedback, is the review that I saw, is that accurate? Is that something that you would recommend? Of course, right now it's not available on Amazon. The only link I found is on the 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥 website. Unfortunately, I can't give you a Mid-Range Gaming link for you to buy it on Amazon. I know, it breaks my heart too. I know how you feel. Unfortunately, that's how it is. So very happy if you can, try it out and tell me in the comments how you liked it. And of course, all right, kicking my microphone. Of course, if 𝙎𝙪𝙥𝙥 sees these videos and want to give one of us the headphones so we can test it ourselves, very happy to try for you. We'll do some review, of course, as long as we can tell you what's good and what's not. Because we are completely independent here. We are not sponsored yet, so we can give you our brand honest opinion. And that's it for tonight hardware story, at least for me. And I don't know if you, Krian, do you have any hardware story for us as well? Or?
Coming in the future, but not at the moment.
Not tonight. Okay.
Yes, my last story for today is talking about a game that I was telling the guys is up 2,500% in terms of search traffic, and I was like, what is this game, Black State? And the first thing that came to mind is Deep State. I'm like, does Black State have a meaning like Deep State does? But I maybe Adam knows. Adam Morris knows lots of things that I don't know. Nope, apparently not. So this is a game by a studio called Motion Blur, and the first thing was like, what the hell is Motion Blur? And Motion Blur is nobody. They're a new studio, but they're making something that looks that's very impressive for like a first game, right? It is a single-player, third-person shooter. They have a video on Steam, so go check it out on Steam. So it's almost like 10 p.m. here. I don't want to rattle on about this. I'm going to talk about the two main things, is right, real-time door mechanics, right? So this is not something that's new exactly, and then some games have done this with varying degrees of success. So they're like, yes, we're going to do this, and it doesn't end up this way. Is basically what real-time door mechanics means is that there's no loading screens, right? Whether that's actually going to happen for the first time ever in gaming, I'm very skeptical about that, because one of the things this game mentions is photorealistic graphics and optimization, and you look at some of the screenshots, and it's a very like a mix of what looks like a 3D rendered figure with photorealistic environments. Like, honestly, it looks absolutely gorgeous. But I would love a game, without loading screens. I know Antoine's big thing with Starfield was the loading, right, between scenes, which I did not have a big issue with that, but he apparently did. So they mentioned something else, engaging storyline. I think that's neither here nor there. And they mentioned a lot of stuff, weapons and tactical gadgets, enemies in close combat, boss fights, mature content, for stuff made for older gamers. I think having like a really standout, good-looking game. I think the last time we had like a game that really revolutionized the way games look was the original Far Cry back in the day, if you remember it. People are like, oh my God, this looks amazing. Or if you remember the original Crysis, like that, or like really set the bar for how games should look. And I'm hoping, and that's the game that made Crytek, right? They made the Cry engine, they made Crytek, and I'm hoping Black State becomes that sort of game, because we do need some other competition, right? I mean, we used to have the Cry engine was an engine being used in games, and then now we just have Unity and Unreal Engine, right? Which kind of sucks, right? That's two-person competition, right? Just like a two-party system in lots of parts of the world, which kind of sucks. So we won't talk about that, even though I want to. So yeah, Black State it looks fantastic. If you're looking, I mean, the emphasis is single player. Like this game on this scale, and with all the things that they're doing, it's gonna be single player. There's no mention of multiplayer. There's no mention of PvP or PvE or an MMO, first-person shooter. This is just gonna be a single-player game. So, I mean, honestly, I'm at a point where I'll be 42 in like however many months, 5 months, and I'd pay $70, $80 for a good single-player FPS game, because that's how little there are of them these days. But that is Black State. Cool, hopefully seamless transition between levels, hopefully beautiful photorealistic graphics. If it happens, wonderful. If it doesn't happen, it's still an interesting game to keep on your radar. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And then let's move on and record questions, gentlemen. Did you guys have a chance to have a look at, like, is there anything you want to answer in particular? Antoine is no. Adam?
I looked at them, yeah. I have an answer for all three, so I'm willing to answer whatever anybody else doesn't want.
All right, so we'll let Antoine choose.
What was the question? Sorry, I haven't seen them, sorry.
They are July 15th on Monday. What are the best games to go into completely blind? What video games seems almost inexcusable to have never played? Which games can you play repeatedly without getting bored and would suggest everyone to play?
I can go with number 3.
Okay. And Adam, 1 or 2?
I'll go with number 1.
Okay. All right. I'll give Antoine some time to think, because I can see the beard thinking over there.
No, there's many of them, actually.
Okay. So Adam, in 60 seconds or less, what are the best games to go into completely blind?
I would definitely recommend anybody go into Death Stranding completely blind, because that game is an experience. It's when I used to be one of those people when somebody was like, if you could go back and play any game, erase your memory and play it again for the first time, what game would it be? And I would be like, nah, you know what? I wouldn't want to erase all my memories. I would just go play a game again. But Death Stranding, I would absolutely erase my memory and play it again, because there's just something about that game that is just, I don't know, it's emotive. I don't know. There's like an emotional thing to it. So definitely go into that game. Don't look into spoilers and let it hit you the way it's supposed to hit you. It can be slow, but it's designed to be an experience. So definitely allow it to be that.
Oh God, now you just remind me, I need to put Death Stranding on my wish list somewhere.
I'm looking so forward to number 2.
I can imagine. Antoine, in 60 seconds or less, which game can you play repeatedly without getting bored and would suggest everyone play?
I have 2 categories here. So first one are 4Xs, like Civilization. You can play so many civilizations, such a variety of gameplay. You cannot play Civilization for 2 years and come back and play again with very happily. And I'm putting Civilization, Stellaris, all these kind of games, very easy. The other kind would be the games which makes you have a lot of fun in as little time as possible, like 40 minutes, I would say, like a Hitman or Helldiver. You are between games, you don't know what to play, you don't want to do another 500 hours game, launch a mission of Hitman or a mission in Helldiver, play 40 minutes, have a lot of fun. It never gets old. And that's, that would be my 2 categories.
Thanks, guys. And now that we recorded that live on air, I hope you guys enjoyed that segment. As always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for the views. And thank you for the comments, good or bad. We love them all. And we look forward to seeing you guys same time next week. We're still, I know the days have been a little bit off and on. Adam has assured me, because I cannot keep track of time anymore, that we're on Wednesdays for the foreseeable future. And then in September, then we'll be back from the summer black hole that he's involved in. And we will have him back full time, and it'll be on a regular schedule come September. And I think Antoine's baseball games will be over by then as well, I would imagine.
I don't know yet, because the regular season ends on the first week of August, and then playoff starts. So it really depends on how good they are. Oh,
okay. Well, I'll be a nice person and say good luck to your son and his team. Even though I want you with us all the time, we'll see how it goes. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you same time next week, Wednesday or Tuesday evening Eastern Standard Time. Take care.
Cheers.